Welcome to the thinkcell tutorials. This video presents the second part of the tutorial on our agenda feature. It covers how to format agendas, determine their placement, and use agenda splitters. For an introduction on creating and managing an agenda with thinkcell, please watch the first part of the agenda tutorials, Agenda Basics. Let's begin by looking at how to format your agenda. thinkcell offers a number of predefined agenda themes to pick from. We recommend that you always start by choosing one of these agenda themes. Even if none of these themes creates the exact look you have in mind, pick the one that comes closest and make individual changes to specific properties of the chapter boxes, like font, fill color, and outline. When you insert an agenda into your presentation, the flat agenda theme will be applied by default. If you would like to change the theme, first select the agenda element by clicking on its frame. Make sure you select the entire element and not just one of its chapter boxes. Click on the Agenda Theme drop-down menu from the floating toolbar and select the agenda theme of your choice, for example, plain. The format of the agenda on all agenda slides changes according to the new theme. There is also an expanded version of each theme available from the drop-down menu. When you choose it, all subchapters will be shown on all agenda slides, and not just on those of their parent chapter. If you want to further complement the look of your chosen agenda theme, you may also add a top and bottom line to the agenda. To do this, left-click on the frame of the entire agenda element and pick the line option from the drop-down menu. In addition to offering predefined agenda themes, thinkcell gives you the option to style each type of chapter box individually. The most common examples of these types would be highlighted top-level chapter boxes or highlighted subchapter boxes. Let's see how this is done. Go to any agenda slide and left-click on a chapter box. thinkcell's floating toolbar opens, where you can change font properties, fill color, line color, and line style of the box. This formatting will be used for all chapter boxes of the same type, whether they already exist or you create new ones. For example, to choose a different fill color for all highlighted top-level chapter boxes, you left-click into any box of this type, open the Fill Color drop-down menu, and click on your preferred color. As a result, all other highlighted top-level chapter boxes will be styled in the same way. If you would like to change the font properties in your agenda, you can use thinkcell's floating toolbar, but also PowerPoint's buttons for font properties. To set the text to italic, for instance, select the chapter box you would like to change and click Italic on the PowerPoint ribbon. Again, all other chapter boxes of the same type will adopt the new font setting. You can also customize the line color and line style of your chapter boxes. Left-click on the box and select your preferred color and style from the drop-down menu to apply the changes to all chapter boxes of the same type. If you would like to discard all manual formatting and return to one of the predefined agenda themes, just use the drop-down menu from the floating toolbar to apply your desired theme. In addition to styling the agenda element itself, you can also edit the design of your agenda slides just as with any other PowerPoint slide. Here is the easiest way to do this. Insert the first agenda slide into your presentation. Now change the design of this agenda slide according to your needs, for example, by applying a different custom layout, by including an image or your company logo, or by adding text in the title placeholder. When the second and any subsequent agenda slide is inserted, it is created as a copy of the agenda slide that is already in the presentation and that is closest to the newly inserted one. This copy includes shapes on the slide and the master settings. Thus, if you have only one agenda slide in the presentation and design it as desired, it will hand down its design from agenda slide to agenda slide that you add later. That way, you will achieve a consistent look for your agenda slides throughout your presentation. By default, the agenda element is placed in the center of the slide and will be dynamically resized when text is entered or more chapters are added. If you do not want the placement to be centered, you may lock the position of the agenda in your presentation, for example, to align it with other elements on the slide. Let's see how this is done. Select the agenda element by clicking on its frame. The frame turns blue and little lock icons are displayed. Let's say you want to fix the left edge of the agenda element to your inserted image. Click on the topmost lock icon on the left, hold down the mouse button, drag to the desired position, and release. The left edge of the agenda element is now locked to that position, which is indicated by a thin red line and a closed lock icon. Repeat this for another edge if needed. However, we strongly recommend that you fix only one or at most two edges of the agenda so that thinkcell can still dynamically adjust the layout when you start adding chapters to your agenda or change the chapter names. Your customized placement of the agenda will apply to all agenda slides that you insert later. To release a fixed edge, just click once onto the closed lock icon. If you want to restore the automatic placement of the agenda, make sure to remove all closed locks this way. As with the slide design, you should lock the placement on your first agenda slide before you insert further agenda chapters, so that it acts as the model for agenda slides created later. Once you have created your customized agenda slide design and layout, you might want to use it for other presentations as well. All you have to do is include at least one of your customized agenda slides in your PowerPoint template. Every single agenda slide carries all design information that is needed to create a new agenda in your preferred look, and will act as a model for agenda slides added later. Therefore, please make sure to always keep at least one of your customized agenda slides in your presentation if you want to preserve your distinct agenda formatting and placement as well as your individual slide design. Now that we have looked at the formatting and placement of your agenda, let's discover another feature, the agenda splitter. Suppose you have a presentation consisting of multiple parts, for example, a main part and a backup part. Of course, you do not want to show chapter headings from the backup part in the main agenda. With thinkcell, you can have a separate agenda for each part. Go to the title slide where your backup part begins, open the Elements menu, and click on Split Agenda. Now this slide acts as a splitter between your agendas, indicated by a marker in the top left corner. The chapters from this slide onwards will not be represented in the agenda of the main part of the presentation. All slides beyond this point will be considered separate from the main part, and therefore will not move along when rearranging chapters in the main part. Vice versa, the agenda chapters before the splitter slide will not show on the agenda of the backup part. If you want to reconnect a split agenda, go to the slide where the agenda splitter is marked, and click on the red Delete button to remove it. All chapters of the reconnected agenda are now represented on all agenda slides again. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please visit our website for more thinkcell tutorials.